So, not sure if you can see that or not, but that's what we're going to take a look at today. So to look at the tail light, not sure how well it's going to come out on video, but there is moisture in here. This is kind of common on a lot of Hondas. I've had 3 Integras in my life and they've all had leaky tail lights, so it's kind of a thing. So what we're going to need is some Permatex. This is windshield sealant. This is what I've used every time. 8mm socket to remove 2 bolts here, and there's a couple inside. I use vice grips for these clips, and they work handy. And if you're working in Florida, you already know. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out these clips. It's probably easier just to remove the entire thing, so all of these clips all the way around. Take that off, you can place that aside, then you'll have full access to your tail lights. And if you need to change a bulb, this is a good time to do that. So just as an example, these types of pliers work just great for those clips, just like that. Forgot about this guy here. It is a Phillips style clip, but you can just take a screwdriver carefully and back the screw out, because it is plastic, so it will break. You will strip it if you're not careful. And then once you have it out, just go ahead and throw that away, and then that just pulls out. And now you have your entire garnish out Honda pet. So there are 2 bolts inside and the 2 outside, and keep note that these are different. So remove those 2, or 4 I should say, and then the entire light assembly will come out. And then with all 4 out, you'll be able to pull this out. There we go. And of course you want to disconnect your electrical connectors underneath. Like that. And just like that. The best thing to do to look for any pinches, kind of like that. That could be where water is coming in. Now, it's kind of hard to say where it would be getting in here from, because this is relatively sealed off. Obviously you've got areas like this where it could seep in, and it could be just the seal around the top, which honestly looks like that might be what it is. You can see cracks in the factory sealing. So what I might do is clean this up and just all the way around the outside, just seal it up with the sealant. What I normally do with leaking taillights is I will put the sealant around where it touches the body of the car and flip it over and do the same thing around where it touches the inside of the tail light. As you can see, it's got a groove, and there's also a little bit of a crack in here, so that could be another spot that I'll seal up. You can see that crack there. But this is what I've done on every one of my 3 Integras that I've owned over the years. My first car was a 90, My second one that I moved down here to Florida with was a 2000, and then everybody, if you have been with the channel long enough, will know my RSX, which was my third Integra. So that's what I've normally done with those. Normally it's leaking into the taillight and then getting into the trunk. I don't see any water in the trunk. So I am just going to seal around the outside of this, seal this gasket up, both sides. Now, on the car itself, this one is not leaking. So, when I was taking the other side out, these two bolts were very loose. So I went and I snugged these up because they were about the same. So that could be an area where water is getting in. Like I said, there's nothing on this one. So I'm going to seal those up, and I'll probably take pictures so I can put them in the video, or I might put my head strap on for my GoPro and show you the process that way. But I'll get back with you in a minute. Alright, so tail light back in, gotta clean up some of the silicone around it. And yes, there is still moisture in there. It is Florida. It will evaporate probably by tomorrow. But that's basically what I'm gonna do, and we're gonna see how it turns out. Like I said, this other side is not leaking, so I'm not gonna deal with it for right now. I just tightened these two bolts up, which were loose. And you can see there's no moisture anywhere in there, so we're going to leave it for that. You want to reinstall your pet, and then you're done.